there's something intrinsically nice, whatever job you do, about helping people. When I was at this event the other day for Careers Mentor, we went around the table and the student asked everybody whether they worked in finance or civil service, me, of what's the reason you get into the work you do? What do you enjoy about it? And everybody said people. Nobody said the money. Hi, I'm Joe Beech, and you're entering A World Gone Good.
Well, hello, my name's Steve, and this is the place where we shine the light on everyday people making good happen each and every day. Welcome to World Gone Good. Summer's here. You need a good summer, good, cozy, good mystery read, and I have one for you. And it's brand new, and it's called Cupid's Curse, and it's the fourth book in my series, The Dog Walking Detective Mysteries. And you can get Cupid's Curse on Barnes & Noble and Kobo websites, and I like run-on sentences that have a lot of ands in them, and that is that. My books, Drown Town, Murder Unmasked, Season Slayings, and my newest one, Cupid's Curse, await your summer reading pleasure. For everyone who has gotten one or some or all of my books, this independent self-published author says, as always, thank you for your support. Today we answer that age-old, all puns intended, question, what the hell am I doing with my life, my career, and my existence here on planet Earth? This is a lot of questions, I know, a lot to cover, got to get through it. If you felt stuck, or presently feel stuck, and you're wondering, should I make a change? Should I take a leap? How do I make a change? What do I do? Our guest today says yes to all these questions and might just provide a few answers. He's saying yes to not just that, but he's saying yes to working with recent college and uni grads who are just starting out on their own by being a sounding board and a mentor. Joe Beech is the owner of his own company, Signal and Gain, but make no mistake about it, he is not, I repeat, not an entrepreneur, even though technically he is one. But let him do the explaining here, shall we? Here comes Joe Beech to share his good journey. So my friend Tess Rafferty, who is my new friend because I met her through my other friend, my very dear friend of 30 years, Jill Hotchkiss from Sherman Oaks, California. Jill knew that I came here on the UK Global Talent Visa to London. Next thing I know, Jill's contacting me and saying I have my friend Tess move there. Next thing I know, she loops us into a text together. Next thing I know, we're over at the Tree House in Marble Arch having a drink. So Joe, you know Tess how?
I thought you'd known each other for years because she speaks really highly of you.
Mm-hmm. I win people over quickly. Mm-hmm.
This is it. Yeah. This is going to make me sound like a lot more connected and Hollywoody than I am. I used to be on an indie record label like decades ago, and one of the founders of that is based in LA, and she was a school friend of Tess. And then when Tess was moving over to London, my friend Marissa was like, "Oh, you guys get on really well. So, and it'd be really nice for Tess to kind of the same as your friend did, really. It'd be really nice for her to know people when she lands." And we just hit it off straight away. Love Tess.
And you've hired her basically.
Yeah.
Or she stalks you.
Yeah,
Which
a
is
bit both. Yeah. No, I mean she's great. I mean, because Tess is from a screenwriting like Hollywood background, and I guess because I'm fairly boutique in the way I do marketing anyway. It's nice. We were just sort of chatting about the kind of work I do anyway, and like her sort of storytelling background really feeds into what I do anyway. Really, I'm not your typical tick box exercise marketer, and actually having somebody from a non-traditional marketing background that's just pure creative, which you know well that she is. It was just like a nice fit, really.
Yeah, and she speaks very highly of you. She sent me this in a text. I'm going to read it to you. She wrote, Tao of Joe, colon, people hire people. Don't be a dickhead. Learn how to navigate difficult people, end quote. Would you like to confirm or deny that statement?
I will absolutely confirm that. Whether or not I follow it is a different thing. That was picked out of a lecture that I gave to students. I was trying to come up with like a bit of a kind of 10-point process of like things that I've learned from my career that would be useful to kind of pass on. And like the biggest one was don't work with dickheads. Yeah, I think they're all fairly accurate.
That's amazing because, like, my thing, and my friends know this back, and I worked in LA for 20 something years in LA itself, another 15 after we left LA, and everybody knew that I was the king of quitting. And I have this thing about me is like, if it's not fun anymore, whether it's family, respectfully, relationships, friendships, or work, like employment, I fucking quit. I see it and I go.
I'm the king of getting fired, really. So I've never really held on to a job. I don't think before I set up my own business, don't think I'd stayed anywhere longer than maybe I stayed somewhere for a year and a half, but usually about 9 months. That's the limit where people go, oh well, this guy's unmanageable. So yeah, I do not work well in a corporate environment at all. It's not for me. So I had to literally set up my own company because I'm unlikely, but not completely unlikely to fire myself. So
It
yeah,
can
that was
happen.
my
It
reasoning.
can
Yeah, you
happen.
never know. Some days, I'm tempted.
But our parents, and I'm assuming your parents too, and I want to find out like a little bit of your background of where you're from. But your mom and dad or your family like mine, my dad had the same job for 25 years. And then he went on to another company and there was that, loyalty thing. And it shifted so much. Did you come from that background?
Yeah, see, because I agree. I don't think that exists anymore
Yeah.
in the same way that it used to. But yeah, I mean, like my dad, strangely, I've ended up like everybody does. I've sort of turned into my dad. He finished his career with a marketing agency or consultancy agency like myself. But before then, yeah, I mean, he had long, um, like, he was with companies for a while. And kind of had that mentality and was sort of loyal to his companies and worked for them for decades. So, but yeah, I agree. Doesn't really exist anymore.
Where in the UK are we talking that you grew up?
Shropshire, which is a bit
Where's
like
that?
it is the no man's land of this country. It's just a big load of countryside and farms in the middle, in like the Midlands. So there's nothing of any real note that I could point you towards. I mean, like,
You're the biggest note. Keep
well,
going.
yeah, I guess so. There's a lot of it's lovely and it's quaint and it's a nice place to grow up. I grew up next door to a farm, so it was quite nice having a lot of countryside and sort of small town life, I guess. But yeah, it's not known for. I think our closest big city is Wolverhampton, which is it's fine. Yeah, you wouldn't excitedly tell everybody to go and rush to Wolverhampton for a day out, but it's okay.
Your dad was in marketing. Is that the spark for you?
Really not like, and actually, it's I didn't like study marketing. I didn't really know. I didn't really get like a marketing job till I was in my like early 30s. I mean, I just had to learn everything I could. And I really got into it. I got really stuck into it as a thing, and I kind of had like some background. For me, like because we hired a few like external agencies to support, and like one of my big things for setting up a company was like how much they charged for so little work and so little fucks given about the work they were doing. And I kind of thought, I'd like to, if I was in their shoes and I have my own marketing agency, I'd like to just kind of work with people that I like and work that I care about and people I want to make successful. And I actually care about it and add value to it and not just phone everything in. And like, I don't understand how there's people out there making so much money from just churning out shite when you could actually care about the clients I take on. There's something in them. I need to meet them face to face. I need to believe, whether it's the company or them or something. I need to go, right, I'm on board. Let's make you a success. And I kind of, I have to be emotionally invested in people and the work itself. Otherwise, I'll just lose. I'm just not right for them. I don't churn clients. I'm really selective on who I work with. because I've only got kind of so many hours in the day anyway, really. So I'd rather dedicate that time to people I believe in.
That's a different motivation, especially in the time we're living in, where everything is, factory churn, churn, churn. Everyone's on this, competition factor. So you're kind of community. You're a community influencer. You're a community person. But I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I didn't have, quite deliberately, I didn't have a website or social media for 7 years of my business while it was growing hugely. And kind of, I say it's sort of a part of it's just that I don't really like particularly getting out there and stuff. But because I was getting everything from referral, and I had a couple of clients that like had individually said, oh, he's like marketing's best kept secret. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. Maybe it's nice to be in demand and to get asked for stuff rather than, because whenever I did outgoing marketing communications, my own marketing, I'd get people that would approach me and go, cool, can you do our like social media? And I'd be like, yeah, it's not really my thing. Or people would kind of make assumptions on what a marketing agency is. Whereas now it's usually because they've gone, oh, I've heard you did a good job with this, or somebody recommended you. And I quite like that I tend to be kind of sought after for the things that I do well.
I have a couple things to ask you, and you've sparked so many things in me already. Number one is the shift you made, taking on your own company. We've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs on here. Do you like that word? Do you hate that word? Do you see yourself as one?
No, I don't know if I do. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know. Like, I'm really, I'm awkward about putting job titles and stuff anyway. I guess like because I don't know, entrepreneur, is that the right thing? Because I'm not doing anything particularly visionary. I'm just solving people's problems and being a guy that helps them get their word out there and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. That's tricky, that one.
But I love that you said that your number one thing, and I respect it because it's something I do as well, is to respectfully shut up and listen.
Yeah, not enough people do it.
And in any form of relationships.
I need fulfillment, greater fulfillment out of the work that I'm doing. It doesn't necessarily mean every single client I'm taking on is like, going to change the world for the better. Some genuinely are, but there's people that you want to invest in. And I think the aim of business should be kind of fulfillment rather than just kind of monetary accumulation, I guess. And I've always tried to steer my business a bit around that.
So let's get to the students. Talk to me about students. You're teaching classes, you're speaking at classes,
Basically,
yeah.
I got about about 6.5 years into my business. And I just like, this is really entitled, but I had to have loads of therapy because I was like, I feel like I want to burn this company down and just become a carpenter or something. And it was just like a malaise over, like, I work constantly and all I'm doing is my business. And it's kind of, it's nice. And I like the fact that I'm helping people in a certain way. But I just felt like it wasn't scratching all the itches that I had. And then I kind of had all this therapy and I was speaking to my amazing therapist. She was like, you should find something that you like doing that's not just for the purposes of making money. That's not the thing that's making you happy. I'd done bits of odd lecturing and stuff in the past, but I got in touch with a local university and I was like, it'd be nice to just speak to students that are about to leave uni and say, hey, look, I'm not the smartest. I'm not the best marketer in the world. I had to kind of go one of two paths, that I could either throw everything into my business to just grow for the sake of growing, or I could just portion off a bit in my time to go, right, let's speak to people that might just need to hear a realistic view of what business is like and what it's like to enter the job market. Now I'm doing one-to-one mentoring, which is really nice, which I've done for a few years now, which is people that kind of leaving uni and not sure what to do. And that's been really fulfilling because like I've had one of my mentees the other day got her first placement somewhere and she was really grateful for the help and she dropped me a message about that. So that was really nice because I'm visceral about what the business world is like, for better and for worse. I think I used to approach it with like, just be relentlessly optimistic about how great you are. And actually it's not very helpful for people because if anything, these students need to hear that it's tough out there and like the world isn't fair. But there's things you can do and there's things you can learn from bad experiences that will help you end up where you need to go. I was also this week, I was doing Dragon's Den or whatever is it Shark Tank? Your equivalent.
Right. Shark Tank. Yep.
It's like startup businesses and then we disseminate prizes and funding for those. So that was a nice thing as well. Yeah, it's just all geared towards speaking to students, going, look, it's going to be all right. There's loads of opportunity, and yeah, it'll all be fine.
Is there like a recurring question, one, two recurring questions that you get from younger people?
At the moment, there's AI is the like I've got to speak at a conference about AI next week, and like that's the big thing because actually the students, from my experience over the last few weeks, can't stand the thing, hate it. No one's using it for essays. No, you'd think that everyone would be going, okay, well, this is a shortcut to doing everything. They hate the fact that big companies are using it in their recruitment process. So it takes 3 or 4 different AI conversations before you even get to speak to a human. They're using AI to gamify their conversation with AI. So it's just AI having a conversation with AI,
Oh my God.
which is like, it's a dystopian nightmare. It's utterly worthless and it doesn't really do anything for anybody. And actually one of my students recently, she got to like the fourth stage of a massive company. And then it's like they asked questions when she finally spoke to a human that if they'd just asked in the first point, like had a human conversation, everyone would have just saved a lot of time. It wasn't for her, and that's fine. So yeah, I get a lot about AI at the moment.
Well, I'm AI. I mean, I'm not even a person right now.
Oh, right. Well, this is it. They get more convincing every week, don't they?
But it's funny because, like I do this show called Slideshow, and I brought it over here from many years ago from Los Angeles. And Tess has been in it twice and told the story, and she's done a gorgeous job. You'll have to come see it sometime when she's in it. But what's amazing to me, and I'm proud of this, is I have a graphic designer. She does the graphics for World Gone Good, which you're listening to right now. And we're recording on, right? That's my niece, and we have a rule: she's not allowed to use AI. She knows that. Um, and she does my book covers. But for Slideshow, I do my own graphics, and I do my own graphics for a reason because I have no fucking clue how to do graphics, but I want them to look 1970s kind of cheap because that's the feeling that we want for the show.
Exactly. It should be, and like rough around the edges. It means authentic, and it's that people gravitate to that. I'd rather put stuff out that is flawed and is like vulnerable and human, and people can connect with, rather than have all these like perfectly polished identikit. And I think it's writing and graphic design, and really all communications AI is used for in a like a real low level. People can't connect with it, and it's really interesting to see working with students, the sheer pushback. And you've seen it in loads of industries, like people, if there's like video games that use AI as part of the process, people have a big backlash against it because it's already an industry where people are getting treated like shit. And film and all these things where people are like actively rejecting its use. So I think it's a fascinating time in history where it could be a big bubble. It could be a lot of promise and a lot of people hoping to get rich that it's obviously not going to ever get used for good. Like in a mass, it's not going to, this whole idea that we used to have, like that we had a society in like the 50s and 60s, that all this technology progressed so we could all sit around and let AI do the work for us. That's obviously not going to happen.
Well, we also the end of Up, so we know what happens. But also,
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that younger people, including my niece is 32. She's not that young, but I love that she loves the more authentic stuff. She loves to sit, and she does amazing sketches. They're unbelievable with pencil. And I love that, like, her style, even like she'll send me a photo of herself at work and it's total 70s, man.
Nice.
You know what I mean? It's like she likes long vests and she likes, jeans with the big bell bottoms and big boots. And I'm like, oh my God, girl. But I also love that this generation that you're talking about is almost like looking at, I don't want to say our generation, but the one after us, or maybe part of us,
Yeah.
is also like taking the easy way out. And they're the younger generation going, that's easy. I don't want to do that. It's like trying, like, no one's cool who's like, I'm cool, right? No, you're not cool.
But it's the whole thing of
Right?
people not wanting to turn into their parents, and now we are
Right.
of the
Right.
age
Right.
of their parents for a lot of the time. Well, unfortunately, whether that's horrifying to think about or not, that actually that like a lot of the standards set by a generation, they're actively already kind of rebelling against anyway. And it's nice because it all feels like a big cyclical thing, doesn't it? It feels like a lot of the attitudes of like some of my formative years, like the like I don't know. For me, I guess growing up in the 90s, where it's a bit more rampant anti-consumerism and stuff, it feels like these things are coming back around a bit, and it's quite, it's nice to see.
Yeah, well, it's the good old days. You know, we idolize the good old days and we have this idea, but those good old days when we were living them were not so good either. So
No.
it's because we're always 20 years ago was better than it is today. It's a very amazing thing. Let me ask you something, if I can, about your company. You recently changed the name to Signal and Gain, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
What was the decision to change the name of your company?
I hated my name before. It was one of those things where because I work so personally with clients, no one really knew the name of my company until it landed on an invoice. And I had to go limited years ago. So I needed a company name. I couldn't just put my own. So I just sort of off the cuff was like, Power Up Marketing, which, mm, it's awful. But it was more of a like a, no, I got no excuse for it. It's terrible, but it just didn't matter to me. My brand, I had no real brand that I was interested in. And it was kind of because of Tess, really. We had some conversations and she was like, it, it, it needs to be a kind of bigger thing than just you anyway. And it got me excited about the idea of having a brand that I was actually proud of and cared about. And it was through a lot of work with Tess that we came up with the new sort of brand, which I'm actually proud of now, which is a weird thing because I was always proud of the work I did. I was proud of my relationships with clients. I was proud of a lot about the business, but then the actual overall identity was something I always found a bit embarrassing.
It's interesting because my company is called Such a Good Dog, and it has nothing to
I
do
really
with
like it.
it has nothing to do with animals. That's the
Well, that's
name. It's my
fine.
marketing company because everyone else was doing like yours, and the word creative was everything. Power
Yeah,
up creative, and
it's always that first, like that first episode of The Apprentice where everyone's trying to come up with an awful aspirational name and they think that it's brilliant. But naming stuff is so hard, as you
it
know.
is.
It's like I've been in bands before with some terrible names, and actually, it's like at the end of the day, you just go, "Oh fuck it, that'll do." Like it's not because it's also like my dad always said, like, so his big bit of marketing advice was that the company Bird's Eye, it's like they do fish fingers and stuff, but
Yeah, yeah.
no one wants to eat a bird's eye. So if you
Right.
think of anything literally, it is utterly meaningless anyway, and it's kind of what you build around the brand. But at the same time, there are also shit names for companies, and Power Up Marketing was a terrible name. So both are true, yeah.
Moving on, I want to ask you, what advice would you give our listeners that you give your students that you think that they could connect to?
I mean, it depends what they're trying to achieve, I guess. I mean, with my students, it's different because I suppose they're going out, they're trying to stake their place in the world in somewhere they're unfamiliar with, and even that it sort of varies from person to person because some people are quite entrepreneurial by nature. So I'd be like, cool, explore that. Your first idea might not be great, but your 10th idea could make you very rich, or there's something in you that's very good. I think if you're kind of at a point where you're at the beginning of your career, aim towards fulfillment. Like, even if your job sucks for a bit, that's fine. You'll learn stuff from it. From my own personal experience, it's like I'd say when I look through all the jobs I've done, I've probably gained as much from companies that have been awful to work with, that I've gone, okay, well, that's how you don't treat people, and that's the things that make your business disastrous. As I have when I've worked with someone that's been really inspirational, and I've got loads from them as well. So I kind of think as well, like, not living with regret at every opportunity not being kind of how you planned it.
Yeah, but really quickly here, I don't think we ever stop wanting to be heard. And I think it really does come down in some ways to that basic thing, whether you're a student or you're 56 years old like I am,
Yeah.
and still striving toward the brass ring. Maybe the ring changes location in what you want it to be.
It's really tough because I think my big pivot in all this mentoring stuff I've been doing recently, and it's not just young people. Like, some of the people are people that have gone back to uni to develop to be business. They're later in life anyway, so it's not like I'm just speaking to people. Some of them have had businesses that have worked, and some that haven't, and they are at different stages and stuff. And I just think I can only really speak from my own experience, but I don't want to sound too like overly aspirational and stuff. But I think it's just you can build a life that is fulfilling and does ticks all the boxes that you want to do. And I know that you might not be able to do everything that you want. And it's not to say that like anybody can do anything, but it's just like everybody's got like value and strengths and things they bring to the table and can do. And once you kind of figure yourself out and what you add value to, coming back to the original 3 points that you said earlier, like don't work with dickheads. And like, I do think actually just relationships and with clients for like long lasting things is just infinitely more worthwhile than churning out clients and treating everybody like another line on your account book, I guess.
Our 2026 statement of the year, our motto, if you will, is say yes. So, Joe Beech, what are you saying yes to in 2026?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Balance, I think. I've had a lot of friends that have had marketing agencies that become really burnt out with it and actually stop enjoying the work and the nature of it. And I have a tendency, I think, sometimes to over commit to things because I enjoy doing them. But I also need to cut off at 5 o'clock, have my evenings to myself, get the free time. And it makes me better for not spending my whole time and getting burnt out because I'm just invested in my own business. I'm always trying to aim closer towards balance, in everything. So like I'm spending the right amount of time working and dedicated to my business and the right amount of time with the things that I love, my dogs, my wife, my home life and seeing friends and things like that. So yeah, strive to balance more, I guess, if that's a say yes. Say yes to balance.
I'm going to go ahead and edit it so that you say your wife before the dogs.
I always say dogs before wives. Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, that's not great, is it?
Yeah, my husband and I did the same. We did the same thing for years. I totally get it. Where do people find Signal and Gain, and where do they find you to follow you and get more information?
So I just started an Instagram recently. So that's just at Signal and Gain. And we've got a website now, which I guess everyone's got a website, signalandgain.com or .co.uk. I think I've got both.
Our final two questions that we ask are these. Question number one, who inspires you?
At the moment, this sounds like a really wanky thing to say. These meeting the younger generation and students, I think it's easy to get like old and bitter. I don't have kids myself and stuff to kind of go to just have that natural thing of we get older and more miserable and feel ourselves more detached from the younger generation. And then I meet some of them and I'm like, man, you've got your shit together. And like you need a little bit of preparation for the world you're about to go out into. But some of these guys I speak to, I'm so impressed. This thing, the last few days where we're looking at new businesses, where they're coming up with things, some of them for really positive social causes and stuff that could genuinely make an impact. Yeah, the kids, I guess. That is such a wanky answer to give, but genuinely this new generation that's coming up, I think is going to do, I think it's all going to be okay. And I wouldn't have said that before working with them, but I think it's all going to be all right.
And the final question is not a question, it's a statement. To finish, we ask every single one of our guests to tell me something good.
I think business can be good. I think from I guess my message I always try and get across to people and my sort of attitude and work anyway is like, I think that the old ways of just seeing it as a monetary exercise, it's like there's something intrinsically nice, whatever job you do, about helping people. And like when I was at this event the other day for Careers Mentor, we went around the table and the student asked everybody whether they worked in finance or civil service, me, of what's the reason you get into the work you do? What do you enjoy about it? And everybody said people. Nobody said the money. Nobody said like, I just did it because it was like an easy career choice with a nice pension. So like, I think that like that, yeah, what's good? The belief that we can do better business.
Thank you, Joe, for sharing your good with us. Shout out to our mutual pal, Tess Rafferty. Tess, for hooking us up. next time on World Gone Good.
Then underneath it is just capital T, little ALF, TALF, the Anti-Lock Foundation. So immediately I know what TALF is.
We are going back, way back to our very first episode with my pal Faith Saley. What better end to our 5th season than taking on our very first episode ever, taking it, putting it through an oh-so-good audio remix and giving it back to you all shiny, bright, and fresh sounding. Consider this World Gone Good's first episode 2.0. And join us as we re-explore our own humble beginnings and close out this present season with a well-deserved laugh brought to you by TALF, the Anti-Lock Foundation. If you know, you know. And who knows, speaking of no one and no one, maybe even Faith herself will show up to say hello for her own 2.0 times. Tune in to our next all-new episode to find out. Until then, be good.